Guys, hope you're all doing well. I thought today it would be fun to do a video kind of on the evolution of my bullet journals. I've got a few. I started in the moleskins and then I gradually went over to the Leuchtturms, and I was doing like a spring cleaning in the middle of fall/winter the other day, and I came across a bunch of these in the box, and so I said, you know what, let's pull those out. I'm going to do a video on a flip through. So this bullet journal was from January to June, which is pretty good. Normally I don't get 6 months out of a bullet journal, and this one I didn't even use all the pages. Like a lot of these are blank starting about here. These are all, I mean, the back are kind of scrap pages, but I tend to do that in my bullet journals. Very rarely will I actually finish. So this was my first bullet journal. I shouldn't say first, I had bullet journals before this one, but this is the first one that I kept and the first one that I probably took really seriously. Prior to this one, I was using an Erin Condren, which is why you see the Erin Condren stickers in this book. But yeah, this was just kind of like the first one I ever did. It's a much more traditional setup. You can see if you've watched the bullet journal video on his website, Ryder Carroll's website, this is very traditional bullet journal setup, and that's because I was just kind of starting to dive in here. Some things stayed the same, like I still track my water intake. A lot of my keys have changed. Like I still use the circles to signify events and appointments, but I don't use the boxes anymore. Here's where I ordered a Filofax, and I was getting impatient because it wasn't in yet. I was still very much in the stages of trying to figure out what worked for me and what didn't. So these are just, I didn't have a lot of spreads or anything like that. A lot of them were just, you know, dailies. Just regular dailies. Here I tried printing and pasting stuff in here, like the Chronodex. I loved that idea, and I still see a lot of people do this in their bullet journal using stamps and stuff like that, which I think looks super cool. Then we're just into, you know, again, more dailies. The only problem with the moleskins is that there tends to be a lot of bleeding on the other page, and you can see that all throughout these notebooks, but it was a great notebook to start with, and it kind of has a bit of a charm to it, which I like. Here again, I was just trying different layouts. I was starting the idea of incorporating a time tracker, but it didn't really get used the way I thought it would. Notes from a function that we went to, more random stuff. So this one was really like a catch-all. I don't tend to journal in my bullet journals now. I have a separate journal for that, but I did do a lot of writing in this one. I had bill trackers in here, more notes, business stuff. Yeah, and a lot of this is all just scraps. So that was my first real bullet journal. Then we get into this one, June to November. Now, I thought it was funny because when I opened up this one, there was nothing in it. And I think that's probably because this was around the time that I got my Filofax, and I spent so much money on it, I really wanted to make it work, so I really kept pushing to go through it. Again, more traditional layout. We've got our key, our monthly overview, a list of books that I wanted to read, which I think was my first collection ever. My future log, and just kind of like our core values and vision for my husband and I. A bunch of dailies, tracking, monthly tracking habits, more tracking stuff, more dailies. So I had a few pages in here. This is when I started to highlight my workouts in orange. This is where I started to color code a little bit. More dailies, and then that's kind of where it ended. This back part is when I started to plan for the Leuchtturm. So I was in my Filofax for a while, which I no longer have. I wound up not liking the system. And then I ordered a Leuchtturm, and so while I waited for that to come in, I started to like pre-plan how I wanted to do my layouts and what I wanted things to look like. So that was all that was in this one. There was really nothing in it. Next up we have this guy, and this is from November 2015 to February 2016. And again, it's another moleskin. And actually, sorry, when I ordered the Leuchtturm from the last one, I had ordered it and then I just went back and tried to pick up an empty bullet journal and start planning, so it wasn't around the same time. But so in this one, same thing, I was still color coding orange for all of my workouts, and then whenever I completed a task, I would highlight it. I saw one of the other girls in my office doing this the one day, and I thought it looked cool, so I figured I would try it in mine. Here was my first time doing a financial tracker. More dailies. Here I started doing pink for anything fitness related. There's just a lot of dailies. That was obviously a stressful day. I'm a terrible artist, but that's okay. Nobody needs to be perfect for this to work. Here's where I started trying the foligraphy for the first time. I wish I knew what highlighter I was using here. I loved this purple color. It was so pretty. This is the first time I started seeing the boho berry stuff. Now you'll find that a lot of my stuff is inspired by her. What is going on with my camera here? Sorry guys, I'm having a really hard time. Is that better? Trying to get it to focus. Anyway, so this is where I kind of stumbled across Kara from Boho Berry, and I started taking a lot of her layout ideas. And so this was one of them, was her monthly. And I think I might go back to this. I have a very similar monthly that I still use for this, but I stopped using the dots, and I kind of like the way the dots work. But yeah, so I drew a lot of inspiration from her. My first fitness tracker was in this bullet journal. Back to my dailies. I think that's why I started doing the foligraphy, was because of Kara from Boho Berry. Yeah, and then here you see my time tracker. I started implementing my time tracker, and now we're getting into more of kind of where I found my rhythm and my groove. Here again is just kind of a test page, and the rest of this is, yeah, more dailies. This is still getting into kind of what worked for me. My level 10 life page, another monthly. Started making trackers for health and fitness. So this is kind of fun. This is when I really started to figure out what I wanted my style to look like. And that, again, is the end of this one. So lots of empty pages. I'm so bad for this, guys. Now we have my first Leuchtturm. So this one was from March to August of this year. And I did already do a more in-depth flip through of this one. I'll link that channel. Or sorry, I'll link that video for you guys. So here's my year at a glance, or my yearly overview. And I always love the way these look, and I do find that I refer back to it quite frequently. Again, here is my book list. It's actually funny because I listed all the books that I had already read in 2016. I didn't list what I wanted to read, so then we have a bunch of monthly trackers. In the front, here was my Calendex. I didn't use this as much as I thought I would have. I do believe I still did this in my current bullet journal, but I never flipped back to it, so I don't know why I keep putting it in my bullet journal. So again, back into a monthly. So here I changed it up just a little bit, so personal and business and all day. And then I stopped using the dots, so I just shaded in a whole square and just left a section for notes and goals. Monthly trackers and stuff stayed about the same. My dailies stayed about the same. Again, these have evolved as time went on, but that's what they looked like. Not a whole heck of a lot of change. Another monthly. So now we're getting way more consistent in terms of what my bullet journal looks like. This is one of the first weekly layouts that I tried. Again, I love the look of weeklies, but I never find myself referring back to them. Then I thought I would try doing my dailies without any color, and I hated it. I've tried this a few times just to make things more simple, and I don't like it. Here's where I started counting down to our wedding day. Tried a more traditional monthly layout, didn't like it. Another weekly. More dailies. It's kind of cool to see, going back through here, what I've done, remembering what worked and what didn't. Our camping list, we were thinking about going camping. Wedding contacts, things to do before I say I do. More dailies, another weekly. The Sims 4 cheats, which I should actually redo a spread like this. Now that I'm thinking about it, obviously make it look a lot nicer than what it does, but I am a big Sims 4 fan. I don't play it too often, but when I do, I'm like binge playing for hours on end. I'm the same way with Skyrim. So I should probably do another spread like that. That'd be cool. Another weekly spread. This time I started doing my habit tracker built into the days. So each of these represent a habit that I wanted to keep up with, and I would shade it in. That made me refer back to this a little bit, but not enough because I still have my monthly tracker, right? So more dailies. Here I tried this monthly. Which was probably a good time to try it because this was our, we got married and then we were on our honeymoon, so I didn't have a whole heck of a lot to write down. And I do always love the look of a traditional monthly layout, but it just wasn't functional, so I don't think I ever really used it again. More habit trackers. Again, our wedding and honeymoon, I tracked nothing for the rest of the month. This is another weekly that I tried, which I probably also took from Kara at Bujo Berry. Again, I liked the way it looked, but I didn't refer back to it enough. This was my first time doing a time tracker, which I don't actually do anymore because I track it daily, but I might go back because once this is filled in for a whole month, it's really cool to see where you spend your time. So like yellow was work, pink was personal, green was anything social, blue was any business meetings, purple was travel. So again, because we got married and we were on a honeymoon, I didn't bother to track anything in my bullet journal. But you guys will get to see what a full one looks like, and they're really cool. So again, more dailies. I stopped tracking my water here. I don't know why I stopped. Counting down again to our wedding. Very exciting. A bunch of notes that we took. And then we get into August. So back to my traditional monthly layout. Health and fitness. So here is a more filled in time tracker. And again, I can see lots of personal time, some social time, not a lot of business stuff going on. I really like seeing stuff like that. This is my first time doing a Dutch door, and I hated it. If I'm being totally honest. I've seen it in other people's bullet journals, and I think it looks super cool. In mine, I absolutely hated it. I don't know if it's maybe just because of how I chose to do it or what, but it was terrible. I did not like it. This is when I first started to get my idea for Bujo blog and what I wanted to blog about and stuff like that. YouTube was still just kind of like in the back of my mind. Here I got back into tracking my health and fitness, and I see my water again. So I used to bike to and from work every day, so that's what these are, although I think these were just regular bike rides because I think work is a little farther than that. There's my birthday. And is that it for this one? Again, I have like my pen test in the back. Here we were figuring out what we wanted to do for our backdrop for our wedding. I always scribble in the back. The back are always like scrap pages that I just kind of do whatever in. And yeah, the rest is blank. See? Told you, I'm super bad at filling up a journal front to back. And finally, we have the one I am in currently. So this one goes from August, I think, or September to current. So again, I have my year at a glance or my yearly overview. And again, I love this. I love how it turned out. My Calendex, yep, I tried using it a little more, but yeah, no, I still definitely don't use it. These are all just habit trackers for business related things in the front. And then I have my quarterly financial reviews, because I thought it would be cool to compare that, my level 10 life again, which I think I'm going to redo. I've seen how a few other people do theirs, and I really liked the way they did it. So when I get a new one, I think I'll change up the way I do it. Here is my book list. This time I wrote down the books that I wanted to read and then what I've actually read and when I finished it. Things to do when I'm bored. My affirmations and my miracle morning routine, which is taken from Hal Elrod's book Miracle Morning, which is an awesome book if you haven't read it. It's a pretty easy read and there's a lot of great information in there. This was my weight loss tracker, our debt payment tracker, and then back to my monthly. So again, my monthly has not changed. I do love this layout. Health and fitness tracker and my habit tracker again. There's a much better filled in time tracker. Way more social events, not enough business meetings, I don't think. There's that weekly tracker again. Back into my dailies. So this is more, it's still relatively the same as what we've been seeing, but it's changed just a little bit. This was my first challenge I ever did in the bullet journal. It was the Zen Art Challenge, and as you can see, I didn't finish. Generally, like 3 days before the end of the month, I start setting up for the following month, and I never really look back, so this didn't get completed. Here I tried doing an editorial calendar, and these little guys, these are removable Avery stickers that I just printed. If you guys want to see a video on how to make that, I will let me know and I'll post one, because it's really quite easy and a lot of fun. This was my first no spend tracker, and I loved how it turned out. I did one for November, and I never used it. And more dailies. And back into a monthly. So you can see that I really have a routine now. My no spend tracker again, my gratitude log, same thing. It's set up for the next month, never finished this month. Dailies again. I really like this page. It was super colorful. I started to doodle a little bit. I was tracking my meals. Anytime I ate something bad, I'd highlight it in pink. Friday was a bad day. It was all fast food. Another editorial calendar. Another daily. More dailies. Executive meetings. Some more dailies. November, I set up one of these round calendars because I thought they looked really cool. Totally not functional. I never use it. I love the way they look, but I never use it. This month I tried to set it up a little bit more like how my husband does his bullet journal. So he actually incorporates his habit tracker into his monthly spread, which I thought was genius. I might try this again for December. I haven't decided yet, because for me this is just too much black, and it's because for the month of November I really wanted to try and slim down what I was using, so I really only used a black Pigma, Micron Pigma or whatever they're called. So it just wasn't super colorful, and that made me sad. See, November I stopped tracking my no spend. This was time blocking. I only did it for the 1 week. It looked super cool, but it just took way too long to set up. And then here I got into my dailies. I was trying to be a little more simple with my setup, and I just hated the way it looked, so I immediately started to bring back color. Started figuring out what I want my 2017 bullet journal to look like. Did this weekly setup for this past week, and I loved it. I thought it was super cute. Again, didn't really use it that much, but it looked cute. And then we go right back into my regular dailies. I just couldn't live without the color. I love having color. This was, sorry, notes from an interview there. The other weekly that I did. This one I liked. I thought it was fun. It wasn't as colorful as the last weekly, but I still enjoyed it. And then more dailies. And then some notes that I was taking, and that's it. That's as far as I filled out for now. Same thing in the back. I have like some random pen tests, some doodles, different, things that I was trying to set up and try out. I'm always scribbling in the back of my bullet journals, always. So yeah, still have a long ways to go on this one. I'm already itching to get a new bullet journal. We will see how much longer I last. I don't know if I'm the only one like that. Hopefully not. Hopefully you guys can relate. But yeah, that's kind of the evolution of my bullet journal for the last few years. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next time.